Lao Tzu says that I have only three things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These three are your greatest treasures. And if you notice carefully, these three are totally interconnected. It is not that they are separate things. Simplicity is connected to patience, and patience is connected to compassion. But then the question arises, how to be simple? So we begin with the fundamental concept. And the fundamental concept is that acceptance of things the way they are, acceptance of what is, brings simplicity. Our life becomes complicated because of our conditioning, where we create aspirations, dreams, expectations based on what has been taught to us by society, that we should live a certain way, that we should follow a particular template, a blueprint, which is going to give us future happiness. So we become future oriented. That means all our movement is to attain a goal in the future. And the goal usually is happiness, which is not very clearly defined by the society, that what exactly happiness means. Ramesh Balsekar said that deep down, everybody seeks only peace of mind. We may say that we want this, we want that, we want a big status, high status, we want money, we want fame, we want recognition, admiration, adulation. But deep down, everybody longs for peace, peace of mind, which becomes extremely challenging because those conditioning, those beliefs are so deeply ingrained within us. Running after material possessions, trying to accumulate more and more to feel satisfied, to feel happy. We just cannot give up this conditioning. And we say that we will be happy only if certain parameters in our life match our expectations. That only if I have this much money, I'll be happy. Or that I cannot live if I don't have this much money, or that I need to have the perfect relationship with my family. It is all about a future movement which says that life should be like this or it should not be like that. Only if my favorite political party comes into power, I will be happy. So we impose these kind of conditions based on a belief. And the belief starts with the fundamental assumption, that is belief in the separate self, that I am a separate entity that needs to find peace by seeking inward security. So we go looking for security in money, relationships, and other things. Sometimes in spiritual seeking as well, we try to look for safety. But all of these things just complicate life. Because the seeking by very nature is like that. We are trying to add something. And simplicity is all about removing that which is unnecessary, which is false. The more things go out of your life, your hard ingrained beliefs, your life becomes simple. It is not that you have to abandon your material possessions or just leave your family and go to the mountains and become a hermit. That is not the point here. Point is simply this, that be content with whatever you have now. Be accepting to whatever is offered to you now in this present moment, rather than creating a future fantasy for something big and imposing a condition on that. Only if I get my dream job, I will be happy. Only if certain conditions are fulfilled, I will be happy. That is the movement of mind in the horizontal time, which is the thinking mind, which is the ego mind. So when these illusions begin to drop, what we find is that we are able to experience deep peace even when things do not go according to our ideas, our plans. There is peace even when relationships are not in harmony. There is peace even when the financial situation is not that great. And this makes the way for patience in life. Patience is something most of us lack. We want instant result. We live in those times where we want everything in an instant. And we get extremely irritated, restless when things are not given to us in the time that we expect. We want our relationship issues to resolve fast. We want everything to be okay. We want materials and goods and services to be delivered to us fast. When we are dealing with people who may be work colleagues or friends or family, we don't even have time to listen to what they are saying. We are so eager to express our own opinions. We just want to bombard them with our own thoughts and ideas, and we lack the patience to listen to them. So you see, when this is happening, nobody is listening to neither party. You are saying something, the other person is saying something else, and you see that there is no energetic match between the two. So the result is obvious that there is no harmony in relationship. The ability to offer your presence to the other is the greatest gift. Simply be there, not to advise them, but just to be there. And that is the greatest act of compassion, which is our third point. Compassion means to simply be. Not to be a certain way, but to simply be. Your being is your spontaneous, authentic self. The moment you try to be somebody, the moment you try to be wiser than the other and tell the other what they should do in their life or not do in their life, you are committing a sin. You are committing violence. You are saying that I know better than God. that somehow I am qualified to give you advice about what you should do in your life. You may act in a very compassionate manner while you do this, but the other person senses your energy. And they may be polite, that they may listen to you, but eventually they create distance from you. They don't want to associate with you anymore because you have not given them the space to accept what is going on. It is perfectly okay to convey your concern to your loved one. It is perfectly okay to give advice on certain matters when they ask you for it. But to give unsolicited advice based on your assumptions of what is right and wrong, what is good for others, and what they should stay away from, which political party they should vote for, which spiritual practices they should do, that is all doership. Forcing your opinion on other people is doership. Trying to prove the other person wrong to feel better about yourself is doership. Doership is an act of the ego. The ego acts identified with an outcome. And usually the outcome is that I am right and you are wrong. And this kind of doership is highly pervasive in the online world, in the social media, in the forums, where people are very eager to prove the other person wrong. This strengthens the separate self. It strengthens the separation of one from another. So there is never a genuine connection between the two. There is always this unease, restlessness. And also, the mind follows this pattern over and over again. I know better than you. That's not compassion. That's just the ego trying to reinforce its own ideas and beliefs in order to become big. When there is true compassion, you just simply be. There is no trying to be a certain way. In fact, Ramana Maharishi said that your job is to simply be and not to be this or that. The moment you try to become this or that, that is doership. And doership inevitably brings suffering. That is why Lao Tzu calls these three things, simplicity, patience, and compassion, as your greatest treasures. And they all point to only one thing, which is peace of mind in daily living. And that is enlightenment, that is spiritual awakening. There is no higher state, no higher goal other than peace, which is here and now.